I'm not a very sexually active person, as you may think after just reading the title of my confession. In fact, for most of my adult life, I only dated one person. At age 17, I entered into a relationship with a classmate around my age, which lasted for about 6 years. After my relationship ended, I went into a kind of wild phase where I did a lot of playing around and having fun. I went out with multiple people, dated lots of men, and just did things I wanted to do. My previous 6-year-old relationship had really messed me up. While dating him, I thought he was the last person I would ever be with. We were planning to be together forever, to get married and have children together, and everything anyone could ever think of. After the relationship ended, I didn't want to get into another serious relationship again, so I just played around with multiple boyfriends over some time. However, I took some things from the first relationship into my next relationships, particularly my sexual prowess. My first boyfriend was very adventurous and taught me a lot of things. In fact, we learned a lot of things together. We would often go online to learn new things to try. One of the things we did most often whenever we were together is watching sexual positions on pornographic websites and then trying them out. One of the things I learned to do, which is the subject of this confession, has to do with Tomtom and Ice Blocks. I won't go into too much graphic details because of some of your younger audience, but essentially, it is a type of oral sex where instead of just using your mouth on his private parts, you also use the popular Tomtom toffee and Ice Blocks. The Tomtom gives a nice feel and the Ice Blocks keep it cold and chilled. Needless to say, there hasn't been a single man I've done this with who didn't love it. Some people just aren't adventurous enough and won't want to try out anything. But of everyone who gave me the chance, most of them said it was the best oral sex they had ever had in their lives. One of these men was a married man who I worked in the same company with, except I didn't know he was married at the time. He was part of the team that interviewed me when I first applied to join the company, and we took an instant likeness to each other when I began working there. Being new to the firm, I didn't know anyone else but him, so we hit it off easily. We started by just going to lunch during work and chatting. Later on, we started talking more and more often and got much closer and even became intimate. Like I stated earlier, he absolutely loved my Tomtom and Ice Block technique and would request for it often. In fact, sometimes we met and wouldn't do anything else but that. He wouldn't penetrate me or try anything else. He just wanted oral sex till he reached ecstasy. About 3 months into joining the firm, I would learn from my colleagues that he was married with 2 children of his own. Apparently, news of our affair was already going round the office grapevine. No one knew anything for sure, but I'm sure they just thought it weird that a married man and the new girl seemed to be so close and were spending so much time together. When I became aware of his marital status, I confronted him about it and told him it was over between us. I wasn't angry, no. Truth be told, I wasn't looking for anything serious myself. However, married men are a no-go area for me because they bring so much complications and drama that I would rather not deal with. When I broke the news to him, he was distraught and begged and explained himself. He said he really liked me and had wanted to be upfront with me in the beginning, but feared that I would refuse his advances if I knew he was married. I told him I understood him, but my answer remained the same nonetheless. Then came the usual stories married men like to tell. He told me he wished he had met me before marrying his wife, that I am the only one that he truly loved, and blah 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 blah. He would even divorce her for me. I didn't buy any of it. His next series of actions, however, would make things worse. He told some of our co-workers about our relationship and asked them to come and beg on his behalf, none of which changed my mind. He would keep calling me at all the time of the day and following me around to the extent that it got irritating. And then, the real shocker, he told his wife about me and told her that he wanted a divorce. I know this because she actually sought me out, got to know who I was thanks to our colleagues, and then confronted me to leave her husband alone. I told her it was over between us and apologized for the whole affair, but she didn't believe me. Apparently, he kept telling her their marriage was over. She was a really good-looking woman with all the nice assets and figure that African men love. I don't know much about her or what she does, but she was well-spoken and sounded smart. It just seemed so crazy to me that this man was willing to lose her over someone he had only known for a few months. I told the husband of our confrontation and told him to stop his weird obsession before he got me into any more trouble. How did he expect me to feel after bringing so much pain to another woman? I eventually had to resign from the company as the whole thing became a controversy that almost everyone knew about. He remained in the company, however, and kept showing up at my house frequently, asking for us to get back together. Eventually, when he realized that I wasn't going to change my mind, he came up with a compromise and made me an offer. If I wanted, he wouldn't divorce his wife anymore, and I can also date whoever I wanted. He just wanted us to keep being intimate. Specifically, he wanted me to keep giving him oral sex. He said he would even give me a regular allowance if I wanted. I would have laughed in his face if the whole thing wasn't very weird to me. That's what this whole thing was all about. My Tomtom technique. He was willing to ruin his marriage and leave his wife because of Tomtom and Ice Blocks. Can you imagine? Currently, I am working on moving to a new house and changing my contact number to get away from him. I can't imagine what his wife must be going through right now, and I feel like I am to blame for their messed up marriage. This is my cautionary advice to married women. Experiment with your husband and find out what he likes, and then try to satisfy him in that manner. Some of these men cheat because they have weird sexual preferences and fetish that they simply cannot share with you.